For some of us, our mode of transportation also has to serve as a workhorse. It has to be dependable and capable of tackling roads less traveled. But does having such a vehicle mean compromising creature comforts? Maybe not. It's no mystery why pickups are such a popular choice here in the Philippines. A lot of us need a workhorse that can also serve as a daily driver. And it's easy to see why pickups are so appealing. You get high ground clearance, good cargo and towing capacity, and the frugality of a diesel engine. And while pickups generally do a good job in being utilitarian, the compromise there is having to forego some of the luxuries you typically get in other vehicles, say an SUV. Well, maybe now you don't really have to make a compromise. Introducing the Ssangyong Musso Grand 4x4. We've all seen SUVs that are based on pickups, PPVs. They're everywhere. But this is the exact opposite of that, because what we have here is a pickup that was derived from an SUV. Simply by looking at the exterior, you'll already be able to tell that this is based on Ssangyong's SUV, the Rexton. And I really think that's a good thing, because in terms of styling, that really gives it a clean and unique look. And that clean look starts here at the front. Styling is very conservative, and I love the fact that they didn't use any chrome here. Along the side, you won't find aggressive flares or exaggerated body lines, but this thing still looks badass, and I love how it manages to pull that off without trying too hard. You get HID headlights that have these integrated DRLs that also function as turn indicators. The wheel wells are quite small compared to most pickups. But don't be fooled by that, because this still gives you 215 millimeters of ground clearance. But the most prominent feature about the side is just how long this vehicle is. This is the long wheelbase version and stands at over 5.4 meters long, making it one of the longest pickups in its segment. And the benefit there is just how much cargo you can fit back here. That's much better. Now, not only is this the longest truck bed in its class, it's also the widest and deepest, giving you 1,577 liters of space. Now that's class leading. And this also has a payload capacity of 1,025 kilograms. So this will definitely pass for a workhorse. But what about the creature comforts? Well, let's hop in. Nothing about this interior tells you you're in a pickup truck. This feels more like an SUV, and a well-appointed one at that. You get this two-tone interior that gives off a really elegant vibe. The leather looks and feels extremely upscale, and there's even this brown stitching to really seal the deal. But it's not just aesthetically pleasing, because these seats are extremely comfortable and they're also ventilated with warm and cool air. Now, I'm already blown away, but there's more, because you also get power adjustable seats for the driver and front passenger, making it a breeze to find your ideal driving position. I also love how you sit up high and the fact that the dash does not obstruct your outward visibility. And the large windows and relatively low beltline also give you a nice commanding view of your surroundings. And to further distract you from the fact that you're in a pickup truck or a workhorse, you also get niceties such as a heated steering wheel and a sunroof, which actually slides out so that headroom for the rear seat passengers is not compromised. Moving on to the infotainment, you get this nicely integrated 8-inch touchscreen, which comes standard with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. This is also connected to a rear view camera though it's worth noting that you do not get proximity sensors. Next, we have this no-nonsense instrument cluster, which may look dated compared to digital LCD screens found in other vehicles, but I actually like this as it displays everything you need to know very clearly. And unlike in some other pickups where the only luxury rear seat passengers get is a rear seat, the ones here will still be pampered. Because aside from enjoying heaps of room and plush leather, rear occupants won't have to sit too upright or deal with an impeding center tunnel. They will also be treated to niceties such as rear air vents, an armrest with cup holders, and get this, heated seats. So you may forget you're in a pickup truck because of how nice this interior is. But what happens when it starts moving? Will it feel like a truck then? Well, let's find out. So we're behind the wheel of the Ssangyong Musso Grand, the Elegant Workhorse. And the question is, does this make you forget that you're in a pickup? Does it feel like a comfortable cruiser? Well, let's break that down a bit, starting with the suspension. So the ride is indeed bouncy. I'm not going to deny that. But it's not jarring, not at all. And let's not forget that this still has leaf springs at the back. But you don't feel shock waves each time you go over bumps. And I think the double wishbone suspension at the front has a lot to do with that, because it cushions every blow and helps mitigate some of the harshness. And then there's the steering. And this is by no means the lightest thing on the planet. In fact, there's a bit of heft to it. But personally, I don't mind that. Because one, it's not exhausting to drive. No, not at all. And it gives a good amount of feedback. Plus, the steering ratio is pretty good because the car or the pickup truck still responds adequately to your steering inputs. Now, this comes with a 2.2-liter turbo diesel engine. And if you're concerned about this being underpowered because of its relatively small displacement, don't be. Because this still pumps out 179 horsepower and 420 Newton meters of torque. And it's mated to an isThe 6-speed automatic transmission, which does a superb job in putting the power down. Now, the power delivery isn't brutal, it's smooth and adequate. It's actually very refined, and it won't leave you wanting for more. But where this vehicle really shines is in terms of NVH suppression, noise, vibration, and harshness. You hardly hear any noise in this cabin. It's so quiet in here. In fact, it doesn't feel like a pickup. It feels like you're driving an SUV. And it's hard to believe that this has a diesel engine or all-terrain tires, because you don't hear the engine, nor do you hear the tires. It's that quiet. And I'm not sure if you can attribute that to Ssangyong's ties with Mercedes-Benz, but all I know is that it really elevates the driving experience. The Ssangyong Musso Grand 4x4 is priced at 1,650,000 pesos, which puts it in the middle compared to other pickups in its class. But it's only in the middle in terms of pricing, because in terms of cargo capacity, NVH suppression, and interior appointments, this is one of the best, if not the best pickup in its class.